problem of evil. How could a good God allow anyone to do such horrific things? If God is all-knowing, then he or she or it is completely aware of what's going on, and if all-powerful, could easily stop it. Yet the thunderbolts don't come. Many atheists have taken the existence of so much evil as conclusive proof that there can't be a good God, and that there probably isn't a God at all. The problem of evil seems to be a genuine problem for anyone who wants to believe that there is.
Why would God allow my 6-year-old sister to die of horrible cancer? And then he said, and don't tell me God's just going to make the best of it. I think all of us are going to get to the point someday when we're just going to look around and see all the war and disease and poverty and suffering and evil. And we're just going to say, where are you, God? How could you let these things happen? Or maybe, how could you let this thing happen to me?
It's always going to be easier to blame others than take accountability and responsibility for your own actions, especially a man in the sky. In Sirach chapter 15, verse 11 to 20, it says, "Don't blame the Lord for your sin. The Lord does not cause what he hates. Don't claim that he has misled you. He doesn't need the help of sinners to accomplish his purposes. The Lord hates evil in all its forms, and those who fear the Lord find nothing attractive in evil. When in the beginning the Lord created human beings, he left them free to do as they wished. If you want to, you can keep the Lord's commands. You can decide whether you will be loyal to him or not. He has placed fire and water before you. Reach out and take whichever you want. You have a choice between life and death. You will get whichever you choose. The Lord's wisdom and power are great, and he sees everything. He is aware of everything a person does, and he takes care of those who fear him. He has never commanded anyone to be wicked, or given anyone permission to sin." Now, the problem with evil is that there's evil around us, so there is no God. Can't possibly be one. The truth of the matter of the fact is that at the crux of this, the only problem is us. Unfortunately, we are the problem. And that when you just really take us out of the equation, there won't be much evil. Quite literally, God is the God of good. He takes us to go one way, to do good, and tells us not to sin. For in sin, there's a lot of death, a lot of misery, a lot of chaos. That's why he doesn't want us to sin. He doesn't want us to lose ourselves and cause great suffering to others too. He wants us to be wise, to be good in our actions, so that it won't lead to any death. It won't lead to any harm to others. But what do? We're selfish. We want to do this, we want to do that. We don't care about the repercussions as long as it pleases us. Because when you look at most problems, like let's say we can blame God for obesity, this and that, but it says it in the Bible, gluttony is a sin. One of the 7 deadly sins. You can blame him for your diabetes, blame him for your cancer, or any problems that may be caused by comorbidities. But at the end of the day, he didn't want you to eat those things you've been eating. And when you look at all the different corruption, death and war, that's all against his rules too. But we're the ones that's corrupted. And when you look at the world, and every evil action that you see, take humans away from it, chances are it won't be that evil. The world will actually be a good place. But the problem with that is that we would have to be out of that equation. And that's what God doesn't want to do. That's why as long as there are humans, there will always be evil and there will always be suffering. But we have hope that in God there is good, and that in everything that he says there is life, beauty, peace and joy. Because the world leads us to misery, but only God can keep us safe from all the pain and suffering of this world. He's the only one that will bring us to life. Look at the world. Look at what godless men have done. Now there are also people who claim to follow God's path that's committed a ton of atrocities throughout history. They've done so against the will of God. You see the path a person takes where there is no guidance in the wisdom of God. A man that follows his own ways creates destruction, but a man who follows God's ways is a man that leaves peace and beauty along his foot and beauty along his way. So the problem of evil isn't really a complicated problem. It's more so a problem of us. Because think about it. If God had his way and we operated solely, entirely, we didn't have free will, we didn't have the choice, we wouldn't have an option, there wouldn't be cancer. because we wouldn't be eating the same things we would be eating. We wouldn't be drinking soft drinks. We wouldn't be eating all these fast food. None of it. And if God had his way, there would be no war. There would be no death. There would be no famine. But that means there would be no options. That means we wouldn't be free. And if we weren't free, we would probably grow to hate him. And he doesn't want us to hate him because he loves us so much. He loves us so dearly that he gives us the freedom and the choice to make our own decisions. It's just like this. When you have a diet, losing weight is easy. But it's the habits around it, the distractions, the temptations that is difficult. But if we don't have free will and we are not attracted to those distractions, then losing weight is easy. If there is some sort of program that we just put and then that's what we follow every day, then we would lose weight. But you see, it's the distraction and the temptations around us which makes that so difficult. And that's what turns our life bad. And similarly, that's the problem with evil, that there would be none if there is none of us. So that's the challenge we have to face. And really, something that we have to take accountability for. We can't keep blaming God because he never wanted this in the first place. He is the God of good, and every bit of his ways leads to a good life. But we keep on disobeying him. We keep on going the other way and choosing the other path. So destruction, pain, suffering is inflicted ultimately by us. And that's God's commandments. God's commandments isn't for him to have a good life, isn't for him to be a greater God. It's for you to be a better person. It's for you to live a better life. It's for you to not lose your life. So follow his ways because only he cares for you. And sin? Sin doesn't affect him none whatsoever. Sin is ours. He keeps us from committing sin, not so that he can oppress us. It's so that he can free us because he knows the wages of sin is death. Sin takes away our very life, our joy of it, and everything that is happy, our family, friends, our life, our relationships. If we keep on sinning, it ruins and destroys everything. So he doesn't want that for you. And we so caught up in our own entitlement that we think that God is oppressing us. And no, he's doing all of this for you. All of this sacrifice is for you, for us. And it's time we start thanking him and living a righteous life because he has sacrificed so much for us. Now it's time to sacrifice for him and living a good life, becoming a better person, so you may also help others. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching another episode of The Third Eye. Comment down below what you think and let me know. I'd love to hear them. See you in the next one. Peace.